Hey, it's Jim. It's Saturday, November 12th. Just going to run through some stuff with you guys there for looking after your outdoor equipment this time of year. I'll flip this around and we'll go through it. Okay, so a couple things that we want to do, or at least I've found makes life a lot more enjoyable. This year my snowblower is spending the winter outside because I got a lot of saw parts and crap kind of stacking up in my little outside shed here. So if we don't want snow and ice to build up on the machine, then pick a day where the weather's pretty decent, or leave her in the garage overnight and let a lot of that residual stuff thaw off it, and then hit it with just some WD. WD stands for water dispersant, and this stuff does work really good for that. So it'll keep a lot of it from building up on your machine, and then you're pretty much good to go for a few days anyways, depending how much you're using it, but a few days of solid use for sure. The other thing is any of your cables, I'm not sure if I'll be able to zoom in here or not, but yeah, pull them out so that it's extended, and then hit any of these cables that you can with it. This one here has the steering clutches, so if I don't want those to freeze up, then give her a shot at both ends, and that really keeps it trouble free, just like your chute control for the direction. So same thing, a lot of that's cables on there. Some of it's going to vary depending on what model you've got, but yeah. Then the other thing I can't rave enough about, I guess, is this stable fuel stabilizer. You should always try and keep your fuel tanks pretty much full, especially in the winter. It reduces the opportunity for condensation to build up in the tank, and that's basically what usually ends up happening when people are having issues with these for starting any of these outdoor pieces of equipment. You can end up with ice, especially in your gas lines. It's a very small diameter tube, so if there's some condensation or water gets in there and freezes, then it prevents the fuel from being able to get through to your carburetor. And yeah, so a little bit of something like this stuff in there. It does not use alcohol. In my opinion, we want to stay away from anything with ethanol or isopropyl alcohol in it. That stuff kind of detonates when it burns. It also actually attracts water to it. That's one of the ways you can get it to the water to actually go through your engine, is obviously with the alcohol, but it pits a lot of your internal combustion components, whether it's on 4 strokes or 2 strokes. So a good fuel stabilizer. This stuff does keep your fuel fresh, keep your tank full. It reduces any gunk from building up in your carburetors, and it doesn't harm the fuel lines and other kind of rubbery components and carburetors and stuff. So that to me is the best method there. And then some guys will end up spending a small fortune in shear pins. Obviously, if you're on top of stuff, usually what I find is pretty standard sizes, kind of around a 2-inch, 1.75 inch. I think these are 1/4 inch bolts. Again, it's going to vary a little bit, but you can grab these guys at the hardware store, normally for a really good price. Get the nylock nuts, that way they don't back out, and yeah, you'll get them for a fraction of $1 instead of some places they gouge you for the stock ones, the OEM stuff, for $7 or $8. You want kind of a mid-range tensile strength on that bolt. You obviously, the purpose of a shear pin is to break, so that if you run onto a hunk of wood or bark, or out in my yard it's usually dog toys, but anyways, it allows some give, so that you don't end up taking out your differential transmission stuff, or damaging the actual auger. So those are there for that reason. So yeah, and then obviously you've got some grease components in here too, and some of them you'll also see a fitting on these bearings. This one doesn't have that. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's kind of about it. But like I said, with mine now, it lives outside, and I usually rely on being able to grab it. It sits under a tarp, but I'm looking for something that fires up without needing the electric start. It is a nice feature, and gets you out of a bind, but ideally you just want it to fire up. The other thing you'll notice if you do start using that stable fuel stabilizer is that your machine won't fluctuate in its idle RPMs. It's very consistent, and that also demonstrates that your carb's staying clean. So yeah, okay, have a good day.